Hi again folks, how you doing? This is the second of 6 locomotives I've been given to repair. You've already seen me do the Rougemont Castle, and this is a little Mainline J72. Now I just recently did a video on my own Mainline J72, so I'm not going to show you everything here because I'd just be repeating myself. However, this little guy has the split axle problem. And this is interesting because I've seen so many of these on eBay and heard so much about this problem and read so much about it, but I've never seen it for myself. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we can do about that. And just looking at this in comparison with my own little J72, I can see a difference in the wheels. If we look at this one, if you look at the centre of the wheels there, and then look at the centre of the wheels in my one, and you can see my wheels have little screws in the middle. So there's something different, and maybe that explains why my one has never suffered from the split axle problem. So we'll get a wee look at this and see what's what. Now I haven't tested this on the track, obviously, because with that problem that would just be silly. I could end up damaging it beyond repair. Now I was told that there was a stripped screw, and there is. That screw is stripped. However, there's still hope for this little screw, I think, so long as it's not been glued in or anything. So with stripped screws, I have got various little tricks that I'll do. Sometimes with the crosshead screws, if they're stripped, putting a little precision screwdriver in them will sometimes shift them. That's really tight. Okay. I mean, worst case scenario, we drill it out. Actually, fortunately, this screw here is not that crucial because the underframe clips on quite tightly anyway, and we've got a screw there, and it's held on with the couplings. So if we drill that screw out, it really isn't going to make a blind bit of difference. But I'm not giving up yet. Let's try big screwdriver. Sometimes it'll just, there we go. A tiny wee screw, but a big screwdriver has got it out. This should now come off, and then we'll see. Oh crikey. It looks like, that looks like sand. So this is needing a damn good clean out. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So we've got a pointy thing. This axle here, the plastic bit, is split, and that one is split. Okay, before doing anything else, we'll see if this motor has any life in it. There is. That's enough though. I'm not going to grind away at those very, very dry gears, especially when there's sand and God knows what else. So this is going to need a complete strip down and clean out. There we go. I was just being very careful there because I didn't want to break it. I don't know if you can see this, but there's grit or sand or something all over this. I don't think this has ever been taken apart because there's it's like red wax or something is put over these screws. That's what you call a dirty commutator. Right, okay, the rest of this procedure I've already done, I've already videoed, so I'm just going to get on and give this a good clean and put it all back together. Interestingly, there's that same issue of this scraping against the side of the chassis there, and when I looked at my J72, I thought it was the larger gear. It's not, it's actually the smaller gear that's rubbing against that. So I don't think filing it down really helps. I think you just have to lubricate the hell out of it. I think this might win the award for dirtiest commutator I have ever seen. Oh wow, it is just absolutely black. But T-cut is working its magic. There we go. That's a bit better looking. You can see from the state of my towel and my fingers that this thing has been absolutely filthy. No doubt somebody's going to tell me that I should be wearing gloves and that this stuff's going to kill me or something. Okay, that's the chassis and motor all reassembled. Just check this works. It works fine. Right, the wheels. Oh, blimey. So, as I say, these wheels, the axles, you know, the plastic parts are split and they are pretty much shot. But I do have a spare set. I mean, how lucky is that? Because when I bought my J72, I bought a body shell and a bunch of bits. And in amongst the bits were these wheels. And looking at them, they are slightly different than the wheels on my J72. I'll just point out the difference. So basically, the plastic part of the axle, you know, it's just round at each end and the wheel just pushes in, and I think it's glued in or something, I don't know. But obviously that's why they're so easily, the quartering goes out. On my wheels, I don't know if you're ever going to see this, but there's actually little joints between the wheel and the plastic axle. So they don't turn. They're actually physically stopped from turning. So maybe this came later. They maybe learned their lesson with these and did a slight redesign. So that is better. They're still rubbish, but that is better. So that is why my wheels don't, haven't suffered the same problem. It's all facing that way, and that's all facing up the way. So at the moment the quartering's fine, but these wheels, you know, they will turn. And let's have a look at them. So they're not turning. They're not turning, but that one does. So it's this one that's, yeah, see? Yeah, I mean, that you have to wonder what kind of numbskull thought that would be a great idea. Yeah, we'll just have the axle just push into this plastic bit and it'll be fine. Oh, crikey. So I think what we'll do is we'll pull it out again and see, does this one turn? No, that one doesn't. So I think all we can do is glue that in and hope. I'm just using the pinhead there just to get the glue down into the hole. The good thing about super glue gel is it doesn't set too quick. So I can put the wheel and axle in and then set the quartering and then just leave it alone. So we'll just pop the wheel in and set that, and that wants to be there. There we go. So we shall leave that, and hopefully that'll be okay. I mean, the chances are it's going to split again. One of them's going to split. I understand that the plastic they used for these axles was reacted to certain lubricants, and then we'll put this back together. I'm going to go wash my hands. Okay, as I did with my J72, I'm just going to put some silicone grease into the chassis here just to act as a lubricant for the axles. The silicone won't react with the plastic, so it should be safe to use. Okay, before I do anything else, let's just see if this works. Well, it seems to. Just put the couplings back on And hopefully that's this little J72 back in action. Let's go and stick it in the layout and see if it goes. Okay, we'll turn the power on. I'm expecting this to sound pretty horrible and not run too well, but so long as it goes... Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Let's see if it'll pull away on its own accord this time. It's needing a wee help. I think it's just a connection thing. You just touch it and it goes. I think we'll have another look at this. So as you saw on the track there, it appears to have a bit of a connection issue. You know, it needs a wee bit of a shove to get it going. I took the underframe off and the wheels out, and I sanded down the chassis to make sure you know, that there was good contact between the metal parts of the axles and the chassis. I removed all the lubrication. I even sanded down the plastic centre parts of the axles to make sure that they were, you know, a little bit proud of the metal parts of the axles. You know, I did everything I could to make sure that the metal part of the axles was in good contact with the chassis, but the problem persisted. It just simply wouldn't go without a little shove. And I noticed that if I bridged, you know, made a contact between any one of the wheels on this side and the chassis, just with a pin or something, you know, I just had to touch like that, it would go. So, you know, it's definitely some weird connection issue. So what I've done is I've fitted a little pickup using a bit guitar string, and it's fixed to the screw in here, and that then comes round and makes contact with this wheel. So basically I've, you know, got a direct contact between this wheel and this brush essentially, and that seems to have solved the problem. Let's just power this up. There it goes, under its own steam, so to speak. Right, let's get the body back on this and we'll stick it back in the layout and see what happens. Right, power on. So there we are, that seems to be running a lot better now, probably even slightly better than my own J72. But yeah, that was a wee bit trickier than I thought it was going to be. You know, I was expecting problems with the axles, but I say the originals were completely shot, and just very lucky I had those spares. And yeah, that very odd connection issue, but guitar strings came to the rescue once again. So there we go, that's it fixed. Onwards and upwards. Right, catch you later folks.